You woke up one day and the story stopped making sense. Not dramatically, not all at once. You were going through the motions, through the routines, through the roles, and somewhere in the middle of all of it, a small voice said, "Wait, why am I doing this?" Not why in the sense of being lazy, but why in the deepest possible sense. Why this life? Why these values? Why this system of meaning that you never actually chose, that was handed to you before you were old enough to question it, and why you are still following it like a map drawn by someone else to a destination someone else picked on a road you never agreed to walk. And once that question arrives, really arrives, it doesn't leave, because here is the thing nobody tells you. The life you have been living may not be yours. The values you hold, the purpose you chase, the moral framework you use to judge yourself and everyone around you, the story about why you are here and what you are supposed to do with your time. This did not came from inside you. They came from outside, from your parents, from the culture, from the religion, from a society that needed you to function properly in a specific way and gave you the specific set of beliefs to make sure you did it. And the moment you see that, the moment you see the machinery, you cannot unsee it. And then comes the question that nobody in the system wants you to ask. If I was built to serve a system, if I was built to serve a system I never chose, what am I actually supposed to do with my life? This video exists to take that question seriously, not to comfort you, not to give you another ready-made answers from another ready-made source, but to go all the way into the darkness of that question with the greatest philosophical scientific minds who faced it in the past and came out the other side with something honest, because you deserve something honest. Now let's go. The moment the story breaks, there is a specific moment, different for everyone but recognizable to anyone who has experienced it, when the inherited framework of your life simply stops working. Psychologists have a clinical name for it. They call it an existential crisis. The American Psychological Association defines it as an internal conflict characterized by the impression that life lacks meaning, accompanied by stress, anxiety, despair, and depression. But the clinical definition, accurate as it is, does not compare to what it actually feels from the inside. From the inside, it feels like ground disappeared. The moment you were standing on something solid, a set of beliefs, a sense of purpose, a story about why your life matters and where it's going, and then, without a warning, the ground is gone. Not replaced by something else, just gone, and you are suspended in the air, wondering how long you were actually standing on nothing. Dr. Irvin Yalom, Professor Emeritus of Psychiatry, Stanford University, and one of the most important existential psychologists of 20th century, spent his entire career studying what happens to human beings when this moment arrives. His 1980 masterwork, Existential Psychotherapy, identified four fundamental concerns that he called the ultimate concerns, or the four givens of human existence. These are not problems you can solve. These are not illness you can cure. These are permanent, inescapable condition of being human. They are the condition that, when you finally look at them honestly, produce the crisis you are in, the first given, death. You are going to die, not abstractly, not philosophically. You personally, certainly, are going to stop existing. Everything you are building, everyone you love, every memory you have accumulated, every version of yourself you have constructed, it ends completely, and the timeline is unknown. As Yalom observed, although the physicality of death destroys man, the idea of death saves him. Many people become more committed to living their life to the fullest only after genuinely confronting their own mortality. But most people never do, because the moment death becomes real, not a distant abstraction, but a personal certainty, the question becomes unavoidable. If this all ends, what was the point of following someone else's script? The second given, freedom. You are radically, terrifyingly free, not free in the shallow sense of being able to choose between options on the menu. Free in the deepest philosophical sense, there is no pre written purpose to your life, no divine blueprint, no cosmic assignment waiting for you to discover it. The freedom to be anything comes with the weight of having to choose and having to own what you choose. Yalom argued that much of our psychological suffering comes from trying to avoid or deny this truth. We distract ourselves, build elaborate defense, or live inauthentically to escape the discomfort they bring. The people who has the people who has handed a complete set of instruction for the life. This is your religion, this is your role, this is your purpose. Never had to face this freedom until the instruction stopped working, and then the freedom arrives all at once, and it is not comfortable. The third given, isolation. Existential isolation refers to the separation of yourself from the world. This type of isolation persists even when you have rewarding interpersonal relationship. In effect, it is the isolation of human condition you can never escape from. You are the only person living your life from the inside. No one else can enter your experience directly. No one else can feel what you feel, see what you see, carry the exact weight of what you carry. You can be surrounded by people who love you and still be profoundly, irreducibly alone in the specific experience of being you. The fourth given, meaninglessness. The universe, as far as we can tell, does not come preloaded with meaning. There is no instruction manual, no objective purpose attached to the human existence. Meaning is not discovered, it is made, and the terrifying freedom that comes with that is also the most important truth you will ever face. Although the defining characteristic of existential crisis vary among psychologists, most agree that it is a period of anxiety and conflict about purpose and life's meaning. Yalom's conclusion, after 60 years of working with the patients who had hit this wall, was radical. He argued that the existential crisis is not a pathology. It is not something that went wrong. It is the inevitable result of thinking clearly about what your situation actually is, and the people who avoid it are not healthier, they are just more successfully distracted. The crisis is not your problem, the crisis is your awakening.